So, hello everybody. This is Deb Coviello, and welcome to Drop In CEO Live Talk Media, where I get a chance to talk to some amazing people and bring them forward to you. And today, before I go into my little intro, dear person in my life, my book coach, I would love to introduce to you Judy Weintraub. She is the founder of Skillbites. Welcome to the conversation, Judy.
Thank you so much, Deb. I'm delighted to be here.
So, for everybody who's been following me, the CEO's Compass, your guide to get back on track, would not have been here without the amazing work and coaching and support that I got from Judy. She has been amazing. And this book is meant for leaders going through transformation who are in the right mindset, but just need a book to help them get back on track. It is not what to do, but it is your guide on how to do it in days, not weeks. And so I am just so excited to give you some practical information in this resource to you. But let's just get into this. Writing a book. It was a challenge, but I set my mind to it. But when we think about people out there, whether you're a CEO, you could be a thought leader getting your ideas out there, or maybe an entrepreneur that says, I've got something to say. It can be a daunting task. So in your mind, what are some of those things that people could do to prepare for such an endeavor?
It's a great question because there are so many people who want to write a book, and yet it can be overwhelming. There are so many pieces involved with writing a book. My first suggestion would be to find a good resource that can provide you with a roadmap of the steps to take for writing a book. There are lots of resources out there. We have one that we provide to anybody who wants it for free. You can go to skillbites.net/write a book easily, WRITE a book easily. And it's a nice, simple 10-step process to follow. And that will give you a sense of what's involved and really help you to understand that it is doable.
And that's why I'm so grateful that you have made it so easy. But maybe we can just go back a little bit. How did you come into being a coach for others to help them write their book?
Well, it's an interesting story. I wanted to write a book. I was looking for that resource that would provide me with that roadmap to make it much easier for me. And I couldn't find it. So I thought, okay, others have done this. I'm going to reach out to people in my network and get some referral to a good resource. So I reached out to my network, and nobody could recommend that resource. But I had over 60 people get back to me to say, when you find that resource, can you share it with me? Because I'd love to write a book too. So I went the self-publishing route. I figured I'm smart. I can figure it out. All these other people have done it. And what I found was it wasn't easy. It was frustrating. I made a ton of mistakes. It took far longer than I ever imagined. But when I finished, I then had about 22 people who asked me if I would help them with their books. And in the process, I learned two important things. One, I really enjoyed helping people get their books done. And two, I learned much more efficient ways to help people get their books done, having helped those people. And so that led me to create my Skillbites platform, which was specifically designed to help business owners and professionals get their books done.
And it is for that I am grateful. You and I just happen to have met each other through the power of podcasting. That is a great networking medium. And, I was thinking about what you said, and I had the intention, November 2020, to write a book. And I said, I can't do it alone. Let me trust Judy. And I'm so glad I had, because the book and the cover, by the way, is so beautiful. Can't wait to bring our cover designer on here as well. It's been a great journey with you, but I just want to get very specific now. So what is the profile of a person that's not ready to write a book? Because I think that's important, because I think everybody thinks they can be a writer, can be ready to write a book. I just want to distill this down. Who are your services not for?
Basically, who are my services not for? I primarily focus on business owners and professionals. So people who are looking to write novels or mysteries or whatever. I have done some memoirs. I have done a few children's books, but primarily I'm focusing on the business owner and professional who wants a book not to sell a zillion copies, but to make themselves more visible, to make others know of their expertise. Mm-hmm. But even within that niche, there are people who know they want to write a book, and then there are people who know they're committed to writing a book. If you know you want to write a book, but it's not a high priority for you, then it's not a good time to try to focus on it. And when I say a high priority, if you can't rate yourself at least an 8, maybe a 7.5 out of 10, that this is something that you're committed to doing, that you're going to make it a high priority for yourself, it's not a good use of your time, because the chances are there are going to be things that get in the way of writing your book. You're going to get distracted. You're either going to lose interest, or you're going to change your topic several times. And eventually it's going to wind up not being a relevant book for you, because it's going to take so much more time to get it done. So it ought to be a high priority for you to really spend time to work on your book.
So I do have to say, and Judy, thank you for that. It was the right guide, the right coach, and I was committed to get this done. And for those of you who've been following me on social media, I was writing a blog every day, a post every day. Deb just kept putting out this stuff, and I needed to be able to distill my messages down into something that was concise and figure out who is it for. So this book is for the CEO who was a rock star and is going through some kind of transformation. But also the lessons are for the entrepreneur that may be stuck or going through transformation, or even an emerging leader. But we stuck with the CEO's compass because those are the leaders that can use this the most. But I got another question, because writing the book is one thing, but it's also what is happening to the author at the same time. And I'm wondering if you could share a story about what have you seen some successes or even transformations with the authors that you've coached?
Yes, it's really amazing how much my authors have benefited from writing their books. One of the benefits that I think most people don't anticipate is the amount of confidence it gives you when you're a published author. You're able to have these conversations and be able to say things like, well, as I say in my book, or if you would like more information, let me send you a copy of my book, or things like that, that will just give you that confidence that will help you close more sales. But from the sales perspective, I have several authors who have let me know how much their book has done for them. One of them, Alex Ruggieri, is a real estate broker, commercial real estate broker. His book, he feels, has led to over $200,000 in additional sales in commissions for him, because he's selling these big buildings. And so he gets a pretty big commission. He provides a free copy of his book to all of his prospects. And he has landed more closings because of his book than he had before his book came out. So that's how he measures his success. A chiropractor, Dr. John Anderson, wrote a book that he wasn't even looking to get sales or get more clients or whatever, but he does take a survey of every new customer who comes to him to find out where they heard of him. And from that, he feels he's getting at least $40,000 a year in new clients because of his book. They come in and they say, well, I heard about your book, so I knew that you would be the person I needed to go see.
So those are all amazing stories. And again, when we set out, I said, all I want to do is get this book into the hands of leaders that need it as a way to build that know, like, and trust, but also not just trust, give them something they can actually do right away, even if they don't enlist my services. But if you need a partner, I'm here to help. I can be your compass. Now this is going to get exciting here. We're going to have some live coaching here. I trust Judy, and I really want to know what you think in terms of providing me feedback. What did I do well? What should I continue? Because obviously I want to learn from our experience together. And if you could think of anything that I might want to change for the next book I'm going to write, what would that be?
Well, I really appreciate that question. It shows how willing you are to get feedback, which is terrific as a coach. I thought you did a terrific job. You were so better organized than most of my other authors. You kept track of what you wanted to accomplish and your timeline. And yeah, there were some things that got in the way here and there, but you had these weekly updates where you would acknowledge, I didn't get this done as I intended, but I'm going to get it done this next week. So you would get yourself back on track. You would keep yourself accountable. Those are so important for authors. It's so easy to get off track. The other thing that you did that was really smart that few of my authors actually do is you started the marketing effort early. You started putting things out there so that you were building buzz about your book. You were getting the word out about it. Even as early as when you came up with the title for your book. That created the momentum so that when your book came out, you had a fan base, you had a good amount of information about it to attract people to your book. And when people start right before their book gets published with that type of promotion, then their book launches aren't as successful. But you did that really well. You provided in the service package that you asked for me to provide to you, you included coaching services. That meant that when you had questions, when you got stuck, you had immediate access to help you get unstuck and get the answers that were going to keep you going. Instead of having me follow up with you and say, okay, Deb, where are you? You were coming to me and saying, okay, I want to use the next half an hour of my coaching package because I have these issues and I need to get those addressed now. So that was really helpful. So in terms of what you can do next time, I mean, you did such a good job with this one. I think now that you know how to do it, it'll be that much easier for you the next time around.
Well, thank you for that. And I will remember all that I did well, and hopefully we can build on that for the next book. And just a little bit for the audience, just so you know, Judy gave me the courage to do something different, do what I wanted, build or create a beautiful book. Nothing that looks like a normal business or leadership book, but there is a story, the compass to get you on back, the background, the darkness, coming out of the darkness and going to the light, keeping it simple and clean. The CEO's compass, your guide to get back on track. There's power in the simplicity versus doing what everybody else does. Your how-to 5-step approach for a person going through transformation, and then putting all kinds of quotes over it. It needs to be simple, clean for somebody that needs to get back on track. Those were some of the greatest rewards that I got as we went through the coaching and just seeing what it is that I wanted to put out in the world. So we're going to wind this down here, but I really want people beyond just this conversation to get to know you. If they wanted to learn more about what other resources you provide for people, what are those and how can people connect with you?
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity to let people know that. My website is skillbites.net, skillbites.net. There's a Get Me Started tab on the website that you can go to and give me a little bit of information about how I can help you, and we'll set up a call. You can reach me directly. My email is judy@skillbites.net, or you can give me a call. My phone number is 610-783-4519.
So, Judy, you have been an amazing guest. I am grateful to have had you in my life and continue to be there cheering me on. For those of you out there, the CEO's Compass, if you want to get a copy, you can go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or any major outlet. It is your guide to help you get back on track. And if you know somebody that is off track, but they're an amazingly talented leader, think about giving them a compass to help them get back on track. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Drop-In CEO Live Talk Media, Judy. I wish you continued success. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Deb.